So I thought today we'd just check in on the polytunnel and see how things are going in here. And in particular, we'll take a look at the different types of tomatoes that I'm growing that were planted at different times, and some of them were grafted and some of them weren't grafted. And we'll try and compare and contrast what's going on with those. And in particular, my tomatoes were sown quite a lot later this year than normal. And to be honest, I don't think they're suffering that much. They are slightly later. I think they're about 2 weeks later than they were last year. But, you know, to be honest, 2 weeks just doesn't really matter to me in the scheme of things. And the reason it doesn't matter to me is because I consciously sowed them later to get a later harvest so that I could get a bigger harvest out of the polytunnel in spring. And that succeeded, and I think that was much more welcome than just tomatoes just a few weeks earlier. I think we'll still get just as many tomatoes overall in the harvest, and maybe there's some just slight tweaks to the planting plan that I'll do next year, but I'll talk about that in another video. Anyway, we'll look at the tomatoes, look at the cucumbers. There's some problems actually with some of my cucumbers. We'll look at the early French and French runner bean crosses, and just a few other things that are just really messy in here. And yeah, not everything goes right. So here's the polytunnel as it stands on the 16th of July, and everything's growing pretty vigorously. So the first thing I want to look at is the difference between the grafted and the non-grafted plants. So I'm going to let you guess which are the grafted and which are the ungrafted plants. So it's not very difficult to guess, is it? These are grafted. Now, the actual tomatoes are not much earlier than on the ungrafted ones. Probably about a week's difference between the two, but the size is really simple to see the difference. Now these admittedly are unusually small. So these are honeycomb, and there's just not much leaf on them. Trusses are good, fruit set's good. Tomatoes are coming nice and early. Admittedly, you know, I sow my tomatoes very late, so they're not that early, but they are early enough. Enough trusses, you know, good number of trusses. Another one here, another one here, another one here. So plenty of trusses. Growth is reasonably okay. I mean, they're taller than me, so 5'8". On the best ones, planted really late. I think third week, maybe fourth week in May. So not sown late as well. So not so bad really. I'm quite happy with them. And as I said, these are all honeycomb. And if I could find a label, I'd show you the label, but I can't. So yeah, so I'm really happy with both of them. But these, just look at the truss sizes on the grafted ones. Huge trusses, massive numbers of flowers still coming. Again, just look at these trusses. So that's my best plant. This is the same variety again. I'll show you the label in a minute. It's hard to pronounce the name for me, but still really good truss size. So I would say, based on this, that the grafted ones, these, have grown much better than the non-grafted ones of the same varieties, but the ones that weren't grafted are still giving really great truss sizes, regardless of when they were planted and sown. But the grafted ones are even bigger truss sizes and a lot more leaf, just look more healthy, much bigger, much higher up, all up in the canopy already. So what am I going to do next year? I'm definitely going to buy, not graft my own. I'm going to buy grafted plants. In reserve, I'm going to also sow same varieties as seed, just in case the grafted don't do very well. And I'm not going to bother with the myth that says that you can't plant the graft now below the soil level. Now the trouble is, the grafted plants that I got from Dobbies, so that's honeycomb and aviditas, they come so early that by the time I want to plant them, the plants are huge, and so I want to get the plants planted a little bit deeper, and that means planting the graft below the soil level. And to be honest, look, it just doesn't seem to matter, does it? The plants are just incredibly vigorous, the trusses are fantastic, they just look really healthy. Maybe there's a few roots from the cropping plants, the scion, that have gone into the soil in addition to the graft, in addition to the rootstock rather. But anyway, it's not so bad. Now, I tried grafting my own this year and it was basically a complete and utter failure. I just don't have a growing environment suitable for the grafted plants. I'm nowhere warm enough and damp enough, humid enough for them, and so they all sort of dried up on me. They looked okay for the first week, but then no, none of them took. So I'm just not going to bother. These are relatively cheap in the scheme of things, so I'm going to buy them. So let's just look over here. One more grafted plant, as you can see, it's huge. And that's another honeycomb. So big, in fact, so vigorous that I let it grow 2 shoots up. And there's even more branching off up here into the canopy. I think these plants can just easily, I mean, the evidence there is in the growth, easily support 2 shoots, so the main stem and a side shoot. So then down here I've got my cooking tomatoes. These were planted 2 weeks later than those, so in 2 weeks' time they'll probably look like this. They're not so bad. I'm pretty happy with them. These are obviously cooking tomatoes, they're much bigger, big plum ones. But again, truss sizes are nice. Seem to be growing really well. So I'm quite happy with both of these. So these are San Marzano, and yeah, they're all looking great. So the ones that are a bit older are a bit behind, but they're not behind in terms of the size of the trusses. So, you know, just a couple of weeks growing time behind. And again, I'm not really that bothered about that. I don't really want all my tomatoes coming on at the same time. It just allows us to stage the processing of the passatas and all of that over a slightly longer period of time. So I'm pretty pleased with the tomatoes. So I don't think I'm going to change the way I've done any of these. So now let's take a look at the beans. So I just do 2 containers of beans. There's quite a lot of beans in each container, maybe too many, but seem to survive okay. These were the slower ones. So these are the French and runner bean crosses, and we've been getting a good harvest off these now for about 2 weeks, so they're a bit slow by comparison with the Cobra French beans, but they're still a bit earlier than anything in the garden, and so I'm quite kind of happy with the progress on them. And I think it is worth just 1 container's worth of space in the polytunnel in order to get that nice early crop. But if I was to choose just 1 container spot, then I would definitely go for these dwarf French beans, because we've been harvesting these for a month every other day, about a good handful, which is more than we eat, so we've been in abundance really. There's still quite a lot of beans on here, although the plant is definitely slowing down. But I picked this yesterday, and again, you know, there's still quite a few new ones sort of growing, still nice and fast, still a few flowers. So I'm pretty pleased with them, to be honest. And again, they take up such a small amount of space. They could be outside now, but I've just got loads of other stuff outside, so I just haven't got any room. So what else have we got? So we've got cucumbers in here. Now these went in really late, so I think I put these in June, I think. And that's because we mainly start our cucumbers in the conservatory, and we're still harvesting off the conservatory plants right now. So we're still getting about 10 or 12 of this sort of size, these little mini cucumbers. And this plant is just starting. It's got plenty of fruits on it, so I'm kind of fairly hopeful now that this plant and the other cucumbers that I'll show you in a minute will take over from the ones in the conservatory, which are starting to show their age now, but it doesn't seem to stop them kicking out more fruits. So I'm pretty pleased with those. Got one in the ground here. Again, it's got some nice fruits on it. And again, this was planted really late in May, I think, this one. And I've got another one in the corner here that is not looking very good. All this kind of dye back on the edges of the leaves, all this mottling. Honestly, no idea what it is. I had this also on some of the plants in the conservatory, but it doesn't seem to slow them down. There's loads and loads of fruits on them. They're growing really well. So I will soon be taking these beans out of here and composting them, because our main crop beans will be ready, and then I'll just grow these cucumbers up into this space here above where the beans are in the canopy of the polytunnel, and just let them go at it. So far everything's looking okay. I've got some caterpillars on these golden beetroot, and some of them are actually quite big, and they certainly just appeared from nowhere. So I didn't notice any of these holes when I was here last a few days ago, and then all of a sudden, bang, loads and loads of holes, great big juicy caterpillars. So I need to get these sprayed with BT. Lots of people ask me about BT. It's the soil bacteria that you spray on the leaves, ideally in the evening, although I'm probably going to do it now, which is about 2 o'clock, just because I won't be here in the evening. And yeah, when the caterpillars eat the leaves with the soil bacteria on them, then it just kills them. So it's fine, it's great for humans, it's just a natural soil bacteria. It's already present in the soil, doesn't harm us at all. Caterpillars don't like it, so I'm going to get those sprayed. Hopefully that will keep them going. The actual beetroot are pretty good, so I'm quite happy with those. And these are my first golden beetroot, so I want to get them to maturity as quickly as possible. So hopefully I can contain the damage. I've got my little leeks here. These are my earliest leeks. These are ready for harvest now, and I do want to harvest them because I don't want them to grow much bigger than this, because I've got loads of great summer leeks in the outside beds. So these are just, you know, there to get me the earliest possible leeks. These carrots, honestly, I've given them loads of water, and they just, oh, goodness knows what's happened to them. They've just, looks like they've been eaten by something, but I've never seen what's eating them. But as you can see, something is definitely eating them. So I don't think there's any real carrots in here. Yeah, that's not very good, is it? Yeah, I suppose you can see that I've eaten them probably, so watered them really well, because they're perhaps going off at the ends. Or maybe that is actually, yeah, carrot root fly. I got a book actually on polytunnel growing, and it says, oh no, you don't have to worry about carrot root fly in a polytunnel, because the flies never find their way into the middle of a polytunnel. It's just so much rubbish, isn't it? So that is probably a complete wasted experiment, although that's what you get when you try experiments. I'm just looking for the best things to grow in front of the tomatoes, just in that bit of soil there. So I thought, well, let's give carrots a go. Well, they didn't work. Leeks worked great. Beetroot worked great until those caterpillars arrived. Celery always works great. Amazing crop for months now, since about May, and just keep harvesting the outer leaves. They will go to seed because they're planted really early. Anything planted too early goes to seed, but I don't mind, because I'll want to get them harvested so that I can get all my winter veggies in here. So I've got some supposedly early tomatoes in the corner in containers, and they're no earlier. There's a good yield on them. They're not ready yet, but just neglected in the corner there. Not really that bothered about them, but I was hoping that I would get early ones from those early sowings, but no earlier than the late sowings. Parsley in the gaps down there, it's doing all right, not hugely better than the stuff outside. Celeriac, on the basis that if celery grows really well, celeriac will grow really well. I can't really say that's growing much better than anything outside. And so that, I think, is pretty much it for the polytunnel. Oh, I just got these little cucamelons. They're coming on nicely. I only have a few hanging baskets of these. We only need about a handful, 2 handfuls a week, and we'll get that just off these 2 hanging baskets. And that is it for the polytunnel, I think. So some good, some bad, some middling, quite a few lessons learnt. So I hope you liked that peak of summer tour in the polytunnel. God, it's hot in here. My name's Steve. This is the Seaside Kitchen, Garden and Allotment channel, and I'll see you soon.